Chicago's a big city, and driving here is a nightmare. So, we're gonna figure out what's the best way to get around the city without driving.
In total, we will be covering 3 modes of transportation in the city of Chicago: the public divvy bikes, the CTA metro system, and the CTA bus system. At the end of every segment, we will rate each method out of 10 in the following 5 categories: cost, speed, comfort, ease of use, and safety. First up, we're going to be trying the divvy bikes, which is a public bike sharing system in Chicago. I have no knowledge about it, so we're just going to be trying it in the field. Contrary to what I just said, the divvy bikes are an uncommon and overall unreliable way to get around the city. When renting a bike, the touchscreen at the stations are frustrating and unresponsive, as it took me and Mark almost 10 minutes to rent 2 bikes. However, if you live in the city, there is an app to download that may make this process easier. They provide accessibility to almost every part of the city, and there is no other mode of transportation that provides more maneuverability. However, it is not very fast, as it seems to prioritize comfort over its actual speed, and it is not very cheap. At $1 to unlock the bike plus 16 cents per minute to ride it, it will likely cost less to just hop on the train or the bus to your destination. If you know you're going to be using it for the entire day, it is an astonishing cost of $15 to have access to the bike for 24 hours, while the CTA all-day fare is only $5. However, if you live in the city and you want to use these bikes, there is an annual membership for $10 per month which entitles you to unlimited 45-minute rides every day for a year, making this the cheapest transportation out there for people who live in the city. The seat of the bike is pretty comfortable and the grips won't give you calluses, making this bike overall comfortable to ride around the city. Personally, my favorite part of the bikes was the scenic areas that me and Mark rode past on the way to our destination, as the bikes provided more access to mostly unseen parts of the city. Overall, while these bikes seem to not be very beneficial for tourists, people who live in the city could gain easy transportation with unparalleled access to the city for a very cheap amount, and the app could make the actual renting of the bikes a much better experience than me and Mark were able to have.
Next up, we're gonna experiment with the bus system, which is the popular one out of basically all of them. There's so many bus stops, so many people use the bus on a daily basis to get to work, school, whatever, and we're gonna be trying it, try to get around the city using the bus. So.
The CTA, short for Chicago Transit Authority, operates most of the trains and buses that can transport you across the city. Buses specifically make about 19,237 trips a day and serve a whopping 10,768 bus stops, making the system very easy to access and use. The buses are also very inexpensive, as you may purchase an all-day pass for the CTA for $5, getting access to buses and trains all day. One major downside of these buses is that they seem to be very inconsistent and unreliable when it comes to being on time or arriving at all.
So we've been sitting at this bus station, we've been sitting at this frickin' bus station for, 15 minutes?
I told you, man. It's fun. The bus is fun when you know where you're going.
Oh, there it is. The bus is here. Let's go board the bus, Mark. Thank you, sir. Oh. Wait, can you pick up my friend? Sorry about that.
Otherwise, they are decently comfortable and they are decently safe, with an average of 248 violent crimes per year, spanning across the thousands of buses that operate every day.
Next up is going to be the trains, which I'm so excited for because they're my favorite. I have some sort of weird obsession with trains that I don't know where it stems from or why, but whatever. So gonna be hopping on the train now, getting some footage of that. Hopefully getting some interviews with people, so this actually counts as a documentary. All right, just got my shoe really wet, so there's Mark.
Hola.
The CTA also operates the public train system in Chicago. On the rapid transit system, the CTA trains operate on 8 routes and 224.1 miles of track. CTA trains make about 2,318 trips every day and serve 145 stations. You can travel across the entire city of Chicago with these trains, making it the most useful method of transportation in the city. They are usually very consistent with estimated arrival times and are also very fast. However, the seats are not very comfortable, and the safety heavily varies on the specific line you decide to take. Mark, that way.
Why? What's wrong with this?
Just follow me. As I covered in the last segment, an all-day CTA ticket costs $5 for full access to all of the trains and buses for 24 hours, making the trains very cheap to ride. These trains also provide a great view of the city from the elevated tracks and alone serves as a staple of tourism for Chicago because of its sheer size and effectiveness. Now I may be biased, but this is my overall favorite way to ride around the city and what I think is the best.